Good evening, once again, we're back at Riga Tech Cast. And today we have two very special guests. One is Pēteris and another one is Kārlis. I'll let them to speak for themselves. Let's start with them. Let's go with Pēteris. Pēteris, who are you? What do you do? What's your story?
Yeah, well, I'm more or less doing something in IT, but in other words, right now I'm, let's say, a little bit taking a professional break, but most probably soon I hope I will be back in business. But so far I was doing let's call it IT management for the last 20 years in different companies in different roles and areas and even countries. So more or less project, service management, and IT infrastructure and software development, and yeah, that's maybe in a very short.
Okay, that's a start. Okay, fine. And you, Kārlis, who are you? Where do you come from?
My name is Kārlis Vilciņš. I come from Latvijas Mobiles Telephones. I'm head of system integration business in Latvijas Mobiles Telephones right now. Not taking any kind of break, even vice versa. So very, very super active in the business. My business in LNT has actually two main topics we are working on. One topic is custom IT development, very specific, very interesting projects, higher security level custom development. And the other topic that's more actually related to logistics, that's today's topic, it's private 5G networks, or in scientific language 5G non-public networks. So basically stuff that allows you to build a totally separate mobile network and separate frequency that you can use totally separately with all the silence and all the stuff. So in my roles, all my life have been more business oriented. I've always started with sales positions and doing business development job and doing some business management job, always keeping in my mind the business case. It's always there are guys who dream big. I'm always trying to find somebody who will pay for it.
Yeah, okay. Today I'm thinking, so let's find a business case and let's think how to sell it. We need to sell the business case as well at the end of the day. So, Pēteris, you spent at least a year in logistics. My question is, we don't like a word challenge. Some people don't like it, or problems. People want to talk about opportunities. I don't really care. What opportunities, challenges, or problems you see in logistics where IT could help? But let's focus on the opportunity, less on IT as such, because there we will bring Kārlis and.
Yeah, I think what can help IT in logistics is going maybe more to this less people service around it, more like a self-service. I guess you have already noticed how much parcel machines or lockers, or in Latvia and Pacomat there are in Latvia and Baltics. And why? Because it actually boosted somewhere in COVID times, and you couldn't go to the shop and buy something. Everyone was doing it online, and that time demand was so huge that actually it started to grow this business. And now in the recent year, when I was there, we already saw that culture of people starting to go down, people slightly returning back to the shops because they have enough to sit just online. We are all human beings, we want to socialize. And in the COVID time, it took so much those, I would say, investments and companies who came to Baltics that now it's extremely serious competition. And around at least 6 powerful players are in the Latvian market, and that will not gonna remain like this. It will probably consolidate or change. And that is the biggest, one of the biggest challenges I saw in logistics. And another thing is, of course, if you talk about specific company where I worked, it was Latvia Post, it was a challenge or opportunity I would say, dropping traditional postal services or demand for them in Latvia. And that's something you need to seriously think how to reshape your business, not to get into the kind of revenue drop problem.
Okay. I think, Kārlis, you're in a position that you can continue the interview. So let's say you said your sales. So what do you do next? Let's say this is a business. There's a few options what we can work with. What do you do next?
No, that's quite clear. In the logistics industry, it's a lot of competition. It's all about cost efficiency right now. So you need to find a business model that automates, and the business model that not only automates the front desk, as those boxes automatic, postal ones, but also all the back office, all the logistics, all the warehouse, all the stuff of this. And then it means actually replacing people with some machinery. So it means sorting stations become more and more automated. They connect like instantly to the cloud, get the right information back in 1 millisecond. You automate also the forklift driver, who is probably you're paying him much more than you will pay to that robotic device. So and why I'm telling all of this automation stuff, because all of those things, they need pretty good connection. And you know, I work for Latvian Mobile Telephone, and this is the baseline of everything. If you build a good connectivity, then you can start automating and replacing so expensive labor with automated solutions. And I would say I'm a salesperson, I'm more a business person. I'm always helping find the best business you can do. So in short, you need to serve the basic things first. Like we had a project in Port where they were fighting with Wi-Fi connectivity in 50 hectares. You imagine how it's to build a Wi-Fi network in 50 hectares outdoor. So it's like more than 20 APs and still the download speed is never more than 7 megabits.
With one Starlink maybe.
But Starlink doesn't help you to build the local network. And when you put 2 5G base stations, even one, we reach 100 megabits download and in a separate frequency spectrum, of course. And it's up and running, it's super stable, nice uploads, and this is the baseline. It's like hygiene level, we call it. So and then from that you start building those new automations, the nice hardware tools, nice software tools, all the let's say analog radios, you replace them with digital ones, because then otherwise people start using WhatsApp groups that's not very safe, and so you transform your business and make this environment very safe, resilient, and cost efficient at the same time.
Yeah, alright. You said forklift drivers probably are a little bit expensive-ish. You have a solution for that. Is that a bit before the solution, would that you better see as a challenge, as one of challenges in logistics, bringing parcels around, the sorting, or those things? What's happening for real, typically in Baltics, let's say, with parcels physically?
I think that if you talk about big sorting centers, and usually it's like a first frontline place where all the packages come in, let's say from China, if you talk about those big e-commerce platforms, what is commonly used in Latvia. So yeah, I know that competitors in the Baltics are like going to automation a lot, but especially building these huge sorting lines, reducing the amount of manual work, and that requires a lot of investment and good business case to the shareholders, but it's not that easy. And it's easier, what I've seen, for private held companies rather than, for example, state-owned ones. Yeah, because besides of those kind of business area, when you need to compete with others, you still have a part of traditional services in postal area, but is never now with a profit.
Okay, you just said that it's a bit challenging to build a business case. So what's the challenge to build a business case around bringing in a nice line for automation, for automated parsing and delivering it to the machine?
I think if you talk about the moment right now, it's quite competitive market because like let's say this Estonian Post or owner, they are in the market like how many 7-8 years. They already took in a lot of the market. They came like one brand in the whole 3 countries immediately at the same time. Same what actually is doing right now with Lithuanian Post called Unison or Udrop. And that gives even more heat to, let's say, the local companies like Latvian Post. So, and that builds this business case very hard on because then you need to compete like, with a very, very low price. Yeah, because it's sometimes even what we noticed, you need to have a very good customer service because packages get lost. You want to return them. How about these non-standard situations? Because to receive it's so easy, straightforward, but it's not always like that.
Okay.
And
So
that is what people sometimes pay more just to get the service, especially in these non-traditional situations.
yeah, looking for other ways how to improve the service as such. So let's say we have this big factory, you and I, we go to Kārlis and we're like, hey, we have this thing, it's half automated. How can you help us? We have big competition around this.
Of course, what we should discuss here, we are not business consultants, and this is very important. And probably you should involve some of business consultants to help you with right decisions. But how I could help, I could, of course, make a nice radio planning of your huge logistics center and tell you the way how, even at the same investment, you can maybe replace your Wi-Fi plans with 5G new radio plans and just eliminate this one challenge or problem, how you want, so that's the connectivity. On top of that, if you have some custom software requirements, just go in and see how we can integrate different parts together. This very depends on what you need at your logistics center, because it's not like the third party comes in, hey, Pēteris, we are now making your business profitable, finally. And this is actually one bit the challenge here. I don't think the difference is the ownership of the company. It's the government, it's the state, or it's the private capital. It's more like the mix of the services the company should do. Of course, Latvian Post in that sense is a very interesting situation, and it has to do some subsidized stuff. But from the other side, only was at the same position 10 years ago. Simply they woke up a bit earlier, and that's it. So maybe in this segment it's too late, but there still are other segments where you can do it. Like the logistics doesn't stop with like postal company. The containers is also logistics kind of stuff, and that's kind of area we are quite active now, and not only in Latvia actually, we are moving outside Latvia with our solutions, and we see that this works actually everywhere. Yeah, so and there it's the same, only the packages are not this big, but the containers and not the small buses, but container ships, and the same stuff continues again. Cost efficiency, higher profits in turn.
I would say new markets and maybe additional services, like you need to expand larger than Latvia, to be honest, if you want to survive in this business. And another good area was when I think it could be taken into the Baltics compared to our services that cost to the Europe is, for example, tax clearance of the incoming packages from non-Schengen, which you can tax clear and then distribute to the Europe. Because that definitely will be lower cost than doing like in Scandinavia or Germany or I don't know, Poland or whatever. Yeah. And that's something I think should actually go. And then we will need, I think, like IT systems or maybe automation, specific sorting like for that, etc.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. We have solved that business case. That's done deal. We have automated the basic things. We're now collecting data about where each parcel moves, what the issues, we're tracking everything. What's the reality? How do you see where AI can help with anything with these topics?
I can tell immediately. Still, I think even if we are in a kind of very very, let's say, moving to mature IT world, a lot of packages come with their very broken, let's call it addresses and information. So AI needs there who can quickly read, like with the sorting machine help, and understand where to actually send it. Because still, I don't know why, but data comes time to time quite corrupted, especially addresses on the packages. You just system don't understand it. It kicks into the called what you call the slang in hospital. Hospital is place where all the non-recognized packages are stored, and then someone manual comes and sorts it out. This is where AI definitely can go and adjust, but it should have a lot of training. And another one, which maybe is dropping, is handwritten letters. Also, those should be actually sorted automatically because right now it's still manual. But they are decreasing.
A super hard use case of the handwritten letters. We have done some customer development in AI. We have actually experienced and trained some algorithms and work with that. Where we see a huge business case, it's actually customs clearance. And when customs clearance and unstructured data come in, and they come from systems not connected quite often, and you need to get this unstructured data out of those, either it's PDFs or it's scanned documents, stuff like this, and nowadays it's manual work actually. A lot of manual work is just inserted in this EDS, electronic declaration system. At least we have talked with some of the brokerage companies who are not fully automated, integrated with those third world systems. That could be a use case. But the problem here is with all those unstructured data use cases, you can train the algorithm to one level, you reach like 60-70%, and that's it. And then you train more and you start going down. And I don't know if it's for real, but I have heard it from different use cases, not only us, that it's not so easy, and this AI, it's very on a hype phase now, and I think it should go a little bit down and then to the productivity. Yeah, so a bit too early, I'd say.
A bit too early. Okay. Yeah. What about you too? How do you keep up with the technology as such? So we talked about logistics, we talked about sorting, we talked about AI. How do you keep up your own knowledge with what's going on with the world?
You read. You
Tell
listen.
us more about it. When? How do you read? How do you find time for reading?
That's consuming information like this, and all nice LinkedIn. It still helps.
Okay.
I think a good point is to listen to podcasts when you're in a car or in traffic jam in the mornings or afternoons. That's something where you can find time. I'm also checking like LinkedIn or subscription to some, let's say, groups in LinkedIn for logistics and also for new technology. So, and of course as well, like community gatherings like this one.
Honestly, I haven't found podcasts for myself. Somehow I can't get used to them. I better listen to music. There are some industry very nice sources that you just subscribe and you get all those newsletters and you are all the time. And you also go to trade shows. Trade shows, by the way, are still alive. Next week I'm going to MWC in Barcelona, Mobile World Congress, the biggest congress. It's a lot of rubbish there, but a lot of useful information and a lot of very interesting companies there. And you work before the trade shows as well. Like we with our teams are spending like a few days just going through the leads, understanding what it's worth to do there. Because when you are there, it's too late. You need to prepare. You need to do that kind of jobs.
Conferences. Okay. Favorite podcast or newsletter or trade show?
Telecom paper for me, but
Is that the name? Telecom paper?
Yeah, that's a name, and it's talking really about all the new technologies in telco.
Okay.
And why? Because telco for me is something very new actually. Honestly, I'm not from telco industry originally, so.
Alright. Okay. Yeah. Pēteris, favorite podcast?
Oh, hard to tell. I'm more in tech as well, so I follow up some project management, say, groups in you there how this whole agile thing is going with AI and etc. So, and yeah, in general, something like that. Not very specific.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. We'll keep that in mind. Well, we're heading to the dinner part. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the interview, and goodbye.